Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Trades Talk. I am your host, Pop Culture Mechanic. You can call me Pop for short. So yes, if you haven't been here before, this is all about the skilled trades. This stream, I've been in the skilled trades for 25 years. I like to think I know what I'm talking about when it comes to that, and I think I should be spreading the word to everyone else. If you don't know what you want to do, or if you're interested, this is a good place to stop by, and you can learn what it takes to get into the skilled trades and what to expect. And I'll also share some stories and pictures and videos of things I've done during my time. And I'd like to say hello to Joseph Dredd. We got a judge in the chat. What every chat needs, isn't it? And Veritax, how you doing? Good to see you. I saw you over on, I think it was Brandon's. Yeah, Brandon's stream just a little while ago. Watching him make his list. All right. I just have to close that. Move this here. And there we go. Starting off, as I so often do, I'm going to go through the news out in industry, because you can tell how well the economy is doing usually by checking how industry is doing. If they have plant closures or if they're building more plants, it will be said in the news, like here from Plant Magazine. So starting off here, what do we got? Trump plans to meet with striking auto workers in Michigan instead of attending a second GOP debate. Well, that's all right. I wonder if he's going to give them some motivation, speak some wisdom to them, tell them to get back to work. Let's see what it says here. Former President Donald Trump will travel to the battleground state of Michigan next week to meet with striking auto workers instead of participating in the second Republican presidential debate. A person familiar with his plans said Monday. Trump, who also skipped the first debate last month, has signaled he is already focused on the 2024 election against President Joe Biden, and he maintains a wide lead against his GOP rivals in primary polls. In recent days, he has been leaning hard into the strike, painting himself as sympathetic to the workers and accusing Biden of trying to destroy the car industry by expanding electric cars and other green energy policies. Yes. The September 27th trip, first reported by the New York Times, will also include a primetime speech, according to the person familiar with the plans who spoke to the Associated Press, on condition of anonymity before they were made public. Hello, Godzillionaire. Good to see you. Let the auto industry burn. They are their own worst enemies. They are gonna do it to themselves. They don't need any help. Yeah, it's we'll look and see if they're going to make any inroads here, but we'll see what happens. It says that's the date the others in the GOP field will gather at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library in Simi Valley, California, for the cycle's second primary debate. When his fellow GOP contenders gathered in Milwaukee last month, Trump instead took part in a pre-taped interview with Tucker Carlson, which aired on the social media platform formerly known as Twitter during the debate's first hour. It'll always be Twitter. I don't know what, so what if Elon says it's supposed to be called X? People will always call it Twitter. That's all it's going to be known as. It's been around since 2006. So, yeah, it's ingrained in everyone's psyche now. Trump has long sought to paint himself as a fighter for the forgotten men and women of the working class and spent much of the 2016 campaign campaigning in the Rust Belt towns suffering from the shift away from mining and manufacturing. Earlier this year, he visited East Palestine, Ohio, after a train derailment. The visit aides have considered a key moment in his campaign as he worked to recover from midterm losses and as they tried to move his focus away from his 2020 loss. Hey, Serranos, nice to see you. Zitter. Yeah. Twix. I heard somebody call it Twix. It's like, yeah, okay. Amar Musa, a Biden campaign spokesperson, said Monday Donald Trump is going to Michigan next week to lie to Michigan workers and pretend he didn't spend his entire failed presidency selling them out at every turn. Well, that's just his opinion. Of course he's going to say that. He's a campaign spokesman, so Instead of standing with workers, Trump cut taxes for the super wealthy while auto companies shuttered their doors and shipped American jobs overseas. Musa argued that Trump would have to let the auto companies go bankrupt during the financial crisis, then bail them out, as President Barack Obama did. Yeah, why should the government bail you out if you're going bankrupt? Maybe not a lot of people agree with what Obama did. So that's something to think about too. There's always they make a point here, but then there's always the counterpoint where you have to think about, well, why is the government spending taxpayers' dollars to keep the corporation alive if it can't survive? On Monday, the United Auto Workers and Detroit's Big Three carmakers resumed talks aimed at ending a strike, now in its fourth day. Stellantis described the discussion as constructive. A spokesman for General Motors said representatives of the company and the United Auto Workers were continuing to negotiate. David Green, a UAW regional director in Ohio and Indiana, said the former president's actions during his time in office gave him zero credibility with organized labor, now adding that he doesn't see a way the UAW would even ever endorse Trump. His only intention here is to try and get votes for himself and also divide our members against each other using political rhetoric. That could be said about every politician. They love to divide people up and have them go against each other rather than the actual politician. You're sick of the cut taxes for the super wealthy lies? Taxes were cut for everyone? Yeah. There you go. Straight from the kaiju's mouth right there. What's the difference between organized labor and organized crime? Organized crime gets stuff done. Yeah, I could see that. Trump earlier this summer traveled to Michigan, where the Oakland County GOP honored him as its Man of the Decade. Asked about the strike in an interview that aired Sunday, he told NBC News that auto workers will not have any jobs because electric cars automatically are going to be made in China. The auto workers are being sold down the river by their leadership, and their leadership should endorse Trump, he added. That's the thing too. Probably, I work union, and I don't know who my union president is. I don't know. I've never met the guy. All I know is my dues get taken off my check, and you never see anybody from them around the place. So they're just working for their own selfish reasons, I'm sure, and they don't care about anybody else. So it could be the same with the auto workers. Their leadership could be just living high on the hog there, and whatever. Who cares what happens to our workers? So we'll see. Here is an update right here. Car makers and the United Auto Workers are talking. No signs of a breakthrough to end the strike. Canadians showing more support for striking workers amid inflation, corporate profits. I don't know about that. I don't hear anybody where I'm at saying that, hey, we support those guys. Here's a funny one. The auto workers' strike will drive up car prices, but not right away, unless consumers panic. In Dallas, car shoppers are heading for a new round of sticker shock if the strike by the United Auto Workers doesn't end soon, particularly for popular vehicles that are already in short supply. The number of vehicles on dealer lots will shrink the longer the walkout goes on. Dealers are likely to lose incentives that the manufacturers pay them to boost sales by cutting prices, and consumers might make things worse with panic buying. Cars are so expensive, I don't see people just run, oh my god, I need a car right now. It's like, I don't think so. I don't think that's what goes through people's heads. You're either in the market for one, or you're gonna look on a used car and see what you can get for that. But we'll see how much BS this article has here. Many analysts think it will take several weeks before dealer lots start to look a bit empty. Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis built up inventories of vehicles ahead of Thursday night's strike, and the UAW decided to limit the walkout to just 3 plants, at least for now. Guys at the leadership are going to tell you the UAW this and that, but their lots are full of cars now. Says Ivan Drury, the director of insights at Edmunds, a provider of information about the auto industry. He estimates that at current inventory levels and the pace of vehicle sales, most car shoppers shouldn't notice much change for a couple of months. Vehicles from the Detroit 3 sat in inventory an average 52 days before being sold in August, up from 31 days at the start of the last year. UAW began striking at factories that make only a few vehicles: Ford Broncos and Rangers, Jeep Wranglers, Chevrolet midsize pickups, and GMC vans. Dealers have good inventories of those. The union said it was reasonably productive conversations with Ford on Saturday, while Stellantis gave details about its most recent offer to the union. Mark Stewart, Chief Operating Officer for North America at Stellantis, also said his company has contingency plans to limit the impact on consumers, though he declined to give details about them. We really want to encourage customers. Don't be afraid, Stewart said, while suggesting they see the deals available at dealerships. If the strike isn't ended soon, however, there could be shortages of some makes and models. Big sellers are vehicles that are already in short supply, such as Chevrolet Silverado and Tahoe, GMC Sierra, and Ford F-Series pickups. The car companies have plants in Mexico that could keep producing some models as long as they have a supply of parts. While the supply of cars from Detroit's Big Three will largely depend on how long the strike lasts and how quickly it spreads to other plants, there are rumors Friday that additional factories could be added next week. There are other factors. Garrett Nelson, an auto analyst for CFRA Research, expects manufacturers to eliminate incentives they pay to dealers to boost sales. Those incentives let dealers reduce their sticker prices, and they're often targeted at slower-selling models. The biggest wild card could be consumer psychology, panic buying that would drive up prices. The impact on prices would be almost instantaneous, Nelson said. Dealers will say, look, we're not sure how many additional vehicles we're going to be getting. There could be somewhat of a panic effect, and that could stimulate consumers to make that purchase sooner rather than later. As cars from Ford, GM, and Stellantis, the successor to Fiat Chrysler, became harder to find, there will be a ripple effect. Consumers who need a vehicle would likely turn to non-union competitors like Toyota, Honda, and Tesla, who would be able to charge them more. You'll start to see the pricing gets affected everywhere, and not just on the new end of the business, Drury says. Used car values, which have been seeing a bit of a decline from last year's highs, could start going back up as consumers look for an affordable alternative to new vehicles. Consumers who lease their vehicle and are coming to the end of the term could be especially vulnerable. Drury says leasing companies want their cars back while the used car market is hot and might be unwilling to extend the lease. Anyone shopping for a new used or leased car right now will also be hit by higher interest rates. The average rate for a new car loan this week stood at 7.46%. And for a used car, it was 8%, according to Bankrate. High rates are contributing to a spike in rejections for consumers looking to buy a ride. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York said this month that the rejection rate for auto loans is now 14%, the highest since the bank started tracking figures in 2013, and up from 9% 6 months ago. Rejections are also up for mortgages, credit cards, and other loans as lenders recoil at the growing number of people falling behind on payments. Household debt is rising. Car prices were rising long before the auto workers even raised the possibility of a strike. A chip shortage, disruptions in the global supply chain, and strong demand pushed prices higher. The average price for a new vehicle jumped from $39,000 in 2020 to $48,000 so far this year, according to Kelley Blue Book. Cheap cars have all but disappeared, and consumers are forced into ever longer loans to limit their monthly payments. Prices for used cars rose sharply in 2021 and 2022, but have slipped slightly this year. Your new neighbors defaulted on their house in less than a year. Oh, ouch. That sucks, Godzillionaire. UAW strike plus dealers holding on to overpriced, overmarked up vehicles will be a thing probably for a few more months. Yeah, that could be Veritex. We'll have to see what happens. I don't think people should lose their minds, though. Don't panic. Don't think, oh, I got to get a car right now. Just relax. This will pass too. It's not the end of the world. And also, like the article says, Toyota, Honda, and Tesla. So Toyota makes good cars. Everyone likes their Lexus, and everybody likes the whatever else the Camry, the Accord. People really like those vehicles. So, It'll be fine. Not like cars are gonna like disappear. Where are we at here? Prices are almost certain to rise, even if the strike is settled quickly, because the automakers' labor costs will increase. I'm sure they're gonna be like, oh no, we have to pay a little more to the workers. It's almost a foregone conclusion that the UAW will succeed in getting substantial wage increases, says Patrick Anderson, founder of the Anderson Economic Group, a research firm that conducts market analysis. Part of that is simply due to inflation. Part of that is due to the profits of the automakers, and part of that is due to the leverage that the UAW has right now with its short inventory and an economy that has a lot of people that want to buy cars. Toyota reportedly has a car with that new fuel that is making EV companies nervous. It runs on hydrogen. Oh? Hydrogen car? I mean, if that, the only byproduct of running a hydrogen car is like it makes water. So, good on them, but I can see like an oil company buying that and just. Hydrogen cars are worse than EVs? Oh, hydrogen likes to leak and explode easily. Yeah, it's a very small molecule, so it's hard to hold. It's like helium. Helium, you know how those helium balloons, you fill them up and they just eventually leak out? And it's because the molecules are so small, it just can seep out of anywhere very easily. Where are we? The UAW is asking for a 36% increase in wages over 4 years, plus other demands that would increase expenses for the companies on Saturday. Stellantis detailed its latest offer for cumulative raises of nearly 21% in hourly wages, roughly in line with proposals from Ford and GM. Man, that's a big increase. Like, that is crazy. Like, I mean, this year I got like 2 or 3%. 21 is just, yikes. Over 4 years, what is that? That's 5%. 5%, 5.1%, or 5.25%. Yeah. Politicians also have been pushing automakers to consider workers who gave up pay and benefits to help their employers during the Great Recession. Now that our car makers are enjoying robust profits, it's time to do right by those same workers so the industry can emerge more united and competitive than ever, former President Barack Obama said in a statement Saturday. UAW President Shawn Fain is sensitive to the impression that the union's gains will come out of consumers' pocketbooks. He points out that prices were rising before the strike and says labor accounts for a fraction of the Big Three's total costs. They could double our wages and not raise car prices and still make billions of dollars in profit, he said during an online presentation to union members this week. It's all enough to make many motorists consider avoiding the car lot and keeping their current car a while longer. Their bank accounts will be healthier without car payments. Holding on to your car is not a bad thing, said Drury, the Edmunds analyst. It's a lot more durable than you think it is. Well, yeah, just take care of it. I own my cars for a long time. My last car was a Chrysler 300. I bought it in 2006, and I kept it until 2017. So just keep your cars. Like, what do we got here? UAW justifies wage demands by pointing back to CEO pay raises. Yeah. UAW strike, Ford Motor Company statement. Unifor Auto talk press on a U.S. auto strike could affect Canadian suppliers. Unifor national president sends letter to UAW president. What's at stake as 13,000 workers go on strike at major U.S. automakers? Workers strike at all 3 Detroit automakers in a battle for a bigger share of industry profits. What should we look at here? Why is the Unifor guy talking to the UAW guy? strike by Unifor auto workers could still be averted, as the union says contract talks with Ford haven't stalled, but experts say the Canadian auto sector could soon take a hit. Anyway, after U.S. auto workers walked off the job, Unifor National President Lana Payne said Thursday evening in an update to members that the union has met resistance in its negotiations so far. To date, we have received 2 economic offers from Ford Motor Company, and we have rejected both. They should tell you that those offers did not come close to meeting our expectations. However, she added that talks have by no means stalled, and that the union has until its current contract expires at the end of the day Monday to reach a deal. After that, it could announce a strike. Meanwhile, some 13,000 U.S. auto workers started striking Friday, targeting a plant at each of the Detroit 3 automakers. Members of the United Auto Workers Union began picketing at the General Motors assembly plant in Wentzville, Missouri, a Ford factory in Wayne, Michigan, near Detroit, and Stellantis Jeep plant in Toledo, Ohio. It was the first time in the union's 88-year history that it walked out on all 3 companies simultaneously after 4-year contracts with its companies expired at 11:59 p.m. Thursday. The strike, while limited for now, could soon have an impact on deeply integrated Canadian parts suppliers and Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association President Flavio Volpe. As of today, with these plants shut down, it's not an immediate hit, but it could be quite soon, said Volpe. If we see an expanded shutdown or a prolonged strike, it's going to have an effect for sure on volume production on lines at Canadian parts suppliers. He said parts suppliers could keep producing with plants down, but they can only really carry 1 or 2 days inventory. And really, I think they should. The parts suppliers, just keep doing what you're doing. Build up your inventory. Because when they do get going again, they're going to want it stuff. So you don't want to have to be playing catch up. It goes along, and while U.S. workers have already walked off the job and the President Sean Fain has taken a combative tone in this round of bargaining, Volpe emphasized different circumstances in Canada where the union and industry have worked closely together on issues. We're monitoring like we always do, but I'm certainly making no equivalence between the Unifor talks and the UAW talks, he said. Sam Fiorani, Vice President of Global Vehicle Forecasting at Auto Forecast Solutions, said they haven't seen impacts yet on Canadian suppliers, but it will happen if the strike persists. It's likely that in a couple of weeks, if the strike were to hold up, it will affect a bunch of small companies on both sides of the border. He noted that the plants the UAW chose to target don't affect any of the Detroit 3 powertrain operations in Canada, leaving Unifor a chance to strike at those plants. With Unifor negotiating at almost the same time, it's unlikely that the UAW would target anything that would significantly impact Canadian suppliers or factories, just so that Unifor could have the unique strength to target its own plants. So far, even U.S. strikes are fairly limited, as the UAW looks to pressure automakers into more concessions. It's a minor inconvenience for the Detroit 3, and it's just to show them that they can shut down plants if they want to. Alright. Yes, a lot of strike news. Lots of it. I just hope they get it sorted out here. They aren't doing themselves any favors, I'll tell you that. But that's it for the news today. Why don't we move along? And I usually come up with something like how to get into the trades and all that, but you guys pretty much know how to do that. You know, you pretty much just think about what you want to do, try to find a place where you can get your information from, study the job you want to do, and then you have to get taken on as apprentice. You have to look for a place that wants apprentices. And then you have to go to school, do your 4-year, whatever it is, 3-year apprenticeship. And at the end of it, you'll be a journeyman. And it'll be good. It'll be an excellent choice to make for a career choice. But yeah, I was thinking might as well get into some pictures. I finally have with me a USB drive that I keep all my pictures on. Sometimes I forget work, so I'm gonna look forward. Check this one out. Just looking through the folders. There's lots of folders. Okay, just about got it sorted out. Just about there, you guys. All right. So what we're looking at here is a sulfur loading hose. You can see that it goes into the sulfur pit lid, and this is not very good. It's sulfur. It's a sulfur hose, DJ Ronnie G, and welcome. So yes, there's the opening into the lid, and this is how they offload it. This is how they offload it. They hook it up to a truck, and the truck unloads all the molten sulfur down this hose and into there. So not so good. You've got a lot of places where the gases can come out of, and rain can get in, and you don't want to mix rain with molten sulfur because then you get sulfuric acid. You love the smell of sulfur in the morning. Yes, we use an acid suction hose. It seems to hold up against the molten sulfur, and there you go. So that's how it's held up. A couple of jack stands supporting the hose, keeping it up off the ground. So it was brought to my attention to make sure that this hole here lets in too much water, and we have to fix it up. So I said, okay, I have to come up with something in order to make this better. So here's what I come up with. So I had to buy some raw materials, stainless steel plate, 1/2 inch thick, stainless steel nipple, 2 feet long. You have a foot sticking out here, and it goes a foot below as well. Stainless steel 90 degree elbow, stainless steel nipple, and stainless steel cam lock fitting. So I had to come out here and drill and tap into the lid. So this was a little tough to do. This material was quite strong, so I had to go slow, high pressure, low speed when you're drilling through some hard material. And I tapped it all out for these bolts here. I also had to make sure it lined up with the holes, because these holes were already drilled at the where they fabricated this. Get some better shots. Here we go. There's a little closer up shot here. And this all has to be made out of stainless, because anything else will get eaten by the sulfur. And there's a better close-up shot. Put some moly paste on the threads, just so they wouldn't gall. Handle the heat, because the heat of the molten sulfur is about 320 degrees Fahrenheit. And there you go. There's another shot, long shot of it. And this new connection is much better. It's a marked improvement over what they had. There's now a gasket underneath, as you can see right there. Nice rubber gasket. I might even have a real close-up shot. There we go. that it? Oh, there we go. So they use checker plate for the lid, and the rubber gasket conforms to it very nicely, keeps out the water. Funny that 304 stainless is good enough for molten sulfur. Yeah, it does okay. Like it's not gonna melt it or anything like that, or eat it away as quickly as it would anything else. You wouldn't believe how hard it is to find stainless steel couplings and such like that, and they're stupid expensive. You know, like these things are like $200 to $300 just for the cam lock. Crazy. But this is not a happy ending. Not a happy ending because right here, these guys, they wanted this thing to swivel. So I couldn't tighten this elbow down. They needed it to move a little bit. And because it moves, it gets a little bit of trickle of sulfur leaking out of these threads. So I have to modify this now. And what I need to get is a swivel cam lock. I'm going to have to buy a swivel cam lock, get the fab shop to cut this nipple here and move the threads down, cut it here, move it down, weld it up. Then I'm going to put a swivel cam lock on top of that, and then a 45 rather than a 90. The guys are complaining about it being a 90. So I'm going to put a 45 on there. And then that way it'll be able to swivel and it shouldn't be able to leak. So, and thanks, DJ Ronnie G. Nice flange thing. Yeah. Well, you know, the things you have to come up with in order to make things better. You know, the plant manager tells you to stop the ingress of water into the sulfur pit. You're like, okay, I'm going to come up with something. It's going to cost some money. But yes, just a little bit of modification needs to be done, which happens with all kinds of, prototyping things. Things pop up that you wouldn't expect. And so you roll with the punches. You look for more things that you haven't looked for before. It's like, oh, I need an actual swivel cam lock. Do they have that? And yes, they do have them. Are they expensive? Yes, they are expensive. You know, you're looking at like, I don't know, some of them I've seen for like $900 for a swivel cam lock. And it's because of the size too. The thing's 4 inches in diameter. You can see here it says Schedule 40, which is the thickness of the pipe wall, 4 inches in diameter, 5 inches long. That's that nipple. See, 4-inch 304 is the type of stainless steel it is. So yeah, I'm going to have to do a little more, just a little more of modification. But I'll bring you guys pictures when I'm done, and it should be a lot better. I want to get some video of it as well in action. But it does better. It seals much better now. No water gets in and none of the vapors get out. So actually the guys were complaining that the vapors are now getting out the end of the hose. So it's like, okay, if vapors are getting out at the end of the hose, it looks like we have to put a vent tube on here. So I will find a place to put a vent tube. You think Elon Musk used 304 steel? He might have. You never know. The DeLorean was made out of stainless, I believe. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they liked because it wouldn't rust. All right. Let's see. I got something else. Let's see. Have that. Yes, I do. So here you go. You guys want to know what sulfur vapor does to aluminum? This is a dust cap for a cam lock. This piece with the with the ring on it, it's used to be all one piece. I am correct. Okay, good. 304 stainless on the DeLorean. Nice. Yeah, so there you go. Sulfur vapor just decimated this thing. Yeah, okay, yeah. Eye bolt. That's the eye bolt that was on top here. They used that as a to be able to pull it out. So yeah, I had to go and get a better dust plug made out of polycarbonate, and it's still working there today, to this day. So that worked out a lot better. Let me see here. I know I've got some more here for you guys to enjoy. You want to put polycarbonate filament in your 3D printer, but you need to set up a window vent. Oh. Does it let off quite a few vapors there, DJ Ronnie G? You want to get gassed out of there, do you? So, in the name of safety, we're always told to do things. Everyone knows what this is, drill press. Fairly basic, standard piece of equipment in almost every shop. You got the drill press. Then we had to get a fancy guard because they were worried about us catching chips in the face. So it was up to me to install it. And yeah, that's the drill press shield right there. And it works all right. I've used it. There's another shot from a different angle. And yeah, it's very simple. I mean, look at it. They've even got it attached with the hose clamp. And then you can just tighten things down and it swivels out of the way so you can get it to change the drill. Yep, we got a vise at the bottom. It's not the best setup for a vise. I've had ones where you can have an X and Y axis just by turning a little dial. And this one is freewheeling. But the other ones, like I've used before, have dials on the X and Y axis, and you can turn them. And you don't even have to mess around too much with it. You can put it anywhere you want. Yeah, to hold the workpiece, for sure. Yeah, X and Y. It was good. It was a good setup. Not this one, obviously, but the one that did have X and Y axis. Very nice to, especially when you're drilling lots of holes. You just crank it over, position it properly, and then drill away. So yeah, the stuff we have to do for safety, though, that's the thing. What else do I got? I'm just going to check for a few more here. Anything interesting pops up. Oh, right. This is what I wanted to show you guys. So there's a problem with this pump. It stopped moving. It ground to a halt. Can anyone, class, can anyone tell me what is wrong with this with this pump? What stopped it? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Godzillionaire? DJ Ronnie G? Joseph? Veritax? I think it's more than a bad seal, Veritax. Balls, yes, DJ Ronnie G. Balls are missing. The pipe's not connected. Yeah. Godzillionaire, you are right as well. No rolling elements. Look at that. Gone. Just gone. And you can see even the thing that was holding them in. Like that's wedged in there. So yeah, this pump on the bench. And here's another, this is a better shot of it actually. But look at that. Yeah, the correct term Godzillionaire had to write, Veritax, rolling elements. You can call them balls, but the whole thing is known as a bearing, anti-friction bearing. And this is the rolling elements. And look at that. Even the thing that was holding them just got mangled. The ball is misshapen. I mean, that's just... It was an easy fix, though. I mean, I just had to take off this locking ring and lock collar. Right? Pull that off. And then get in there and pull the bearings out, pull the shaft out, bearing it came there, and then just push it off the shaft, and then put another one on. So yeah, that was this was quite the surprise. But yeah, I mean, you know, thank God for redundancy. At our place, we have a lot of secondary pumps that can take over. So it's like, oh no, this one's cratered. Okay, well, throw on the backup and they can keep going. And then this one gets pulled off and, you know, worked on, replaced, and ready to go, put back in place and ready to go again. So yeah, this was an alright job. It wasn't too crazy. Hey, Nico, glad you made it. Just having a look at some things that have failed. Catastrophic failure, as I like to say. I'll have a look and see if I can find something else that's catastrophically failed. Where I worked before, I'd have lots of pictures of that. But now where I'm at, we try to make it so that not a lot of stuff fails catastrophically because of preventative maintenance and getting work done during shutdown, changing things out. We have vibration analysis now with permanent mounted vibration monitors. And those things are pretty neat. They measure in 3 axes. They're X, Y, and Z. And they you can have one unit set up with 2 connectors. So one sensor goes to the motor and one sensor goes to the pump or whatever else it's turning, a fan, anything like that. You can monitor how much vibration is coming off that and whether or not there is a problem. As soon as there's a problem, you can get right on it before it becomes like this picture here, where the bearing has failed, you know, and you can catch it before that happens, which is very important when you're in the maintenance profession. You want to look like a fool? Let things break all around you, and you have no idea. You want to be seen as a professional? Then make sure that you keep up on top of things and listen. Walking through the plant, you can hear when something is not right. Walk by a motor, walk by a pump, walk by something that you usually hear what the sound is, and then all of a sudden something sounds off. All right, well then maybe you should investigate things you need to take into account, things that are going to happen like that, and checking over things listening, going around feeling things right away. If something is super hot, that's a problem. Unless it's supposed to be really hot, you need to investigate why it is getting hot like that. So, once again, use your senses as you're walking through. Smell sometimes, yeah, a burning motor, or a motor that's about on its last legs and it's heating up, it has a certain smell to it. And you're just like, ugh, electrical smell. That is just the most vilest thing you can smell out there. Did I show you guys my rail ladder? I got a rail ladder made. Somebody put in a complaint that they were having to hoist their legs up too high to climb up onto the rail cars. So it was up to me to come up with an idea as to what we could do as far as a ladder design. And then I got that off to the fabricators, and he came out and had a look, and we put our heads together to come up with an idea. So, rail ladder. So this is what it looks like without one. Yeah, don't mind the white stuff on the ground. Snow. For all of you down south. So yeah, there's another shot of it there. And a different car. Okay, so we took some measurements. There you go. So we have a rail ladder extender. And now this makes it much easier to climb up on top of rail cars. And it's held on very nicely with some drop-in pins. So you just slide this over, drop the pins in, and it won't come out. So that works like a charm. Hey, Jake D. Nice to see you. Glory to Wupstotska, by the way. The agony of this week's Ahsoka episode? Why are you watching that? Jake D, I'm disappointed. I would not waste my time. Yeah, so I got some good shots. That thing fits nice and tight, and it's good to walk on. There you go. That one there. So you don't have to stretch out as much. Forgive me, Star Wars crack addict. Well, yes, when you're an addict, I guess it can't be helped. But that's okay. Don't let Comrade Leader find out, though. So yes, railway ladder. Just remember, anything is possible. If you're having a hard time with something, always try to come up with a better way. You always want to make work easy for yourself. You got the shakes? You cold, Jake D? I'll show you here. Here's some winter shots for you. Back in March. Back in March when the snow is not going away. And that's the thing about where I live. It's not that it snows a lot. It just doesn't go away. Like it's not that deep. You can see the railway tracks. In Southeast USSA, we do not believe in winter. That might be true, but just wait till winter comes and finds you. I'll mail you a parka there, Jake D. Be nice and warm. Yeah, so railway ladder. I was very happy when they brought those up, showed me what they'd come up with. Choo choo, yeah. Speaking of winter, this is something that you need when you're in winter, is a snow blade. Hopefully one that's in good shape. This one is not in good shape. These holes here are supposed to be in the middle of the blade, not at the end. So they've driven it around so much that they have worn out the backing plate that holds the blade on. It's unbelievable. Now we have to get a new one. I have to go out for now and get pricing on a brand new snow blade because this one's worn down to the frame. And if you drive it any further, the blade's just going to fall off. In this picture, I've got it off already. I took it off. But, yeah, you can use it and wear it down to nothing, but it's just going to fall off. Like, there's the blade right there. Held on by these bolts here. And they've worn it down so much that it's not going to make it another season. Maybe one more season, but then after that, we've got to get a new one. Put it in the budget, buy a new one. Because it's, where we're at, it's important. It helps keep the whole parking lot clean, keeps the area, the plant clean. That reminds you, the other day you saw a guy that had a trailer designed to put a car on, but he didn't have it mounted correctly to his car, and so the back end of the trailer was dragging. Oh! Picking up sparks everywhere. It's kind of scary looking. Man, oh man. What's wrong with everybody? Like, you got to do it properly. You're going to cause an accident like that, and then people are going to get hurt badly or even killed just because somebody doesn't know how to hook up a trailer properly. Back of the trailer dragging along. Ugh. Some people. But yeah, lots of interesting pictures. I know I've got video of me moving those rail cars. Pretty sure I showed you guys. At least a few of you guys might have seen me moving rail cars with a front end loader. Always fun. All right. So yeah. Remember, guys, don't panic out there about the strike. Don't worry about it. Should be fine. Unless you're looking for a car right now, or you're looking for one in the future. You can buy used anyway. You don't have to buy brand new. Funny thing is, I think he held the car closer to the trailer hitch. Wouldn't have been like that. Visit's not person's strong suit. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like it, Veritex. All right. Well, I'd say that was it for another edition of Trades Talk. I've pretty much gone through what I wanted to go through today. Things are going well where I'm at. There's no major emergencies while I was on vacation, which is good. You don't want to come back to emergencies, so always good. Now I've just got to play a little catch up, try to get things organized. Organization is key when you're when you're sort of the head guy of your maintenance department and you're the only guy. You got to be well organized and try to get things done. Just think there was nothing scarier than the temporary raft used to lift the change lights in the swimming pool. That was stupid. When you showed me that on Discord, that was just the dumbest thing I ever thought of. I'm like, couldn't they get a what do you call it? A boom, like a zoom boom, not a zoom boom. Hold on. I am going to find it here. Like get a genie. Get a genie, but a straight arm genie. Yeah, one of these guys. You can get one. Telescopic boom lift. And these things come in ridiculous lengths. You can get a 60-foot, an 80-footer, or a 125-footer, or 135. Even 180. You know? Like, this is the thing, this is the right thing tool for the job. You can go beside the pool, and you can reach up high enough to get at those lights. You don't have to float a scissor lift on a raft like an idiot. Right? Yeah, it was just ridiculous that those guys wanted to do that. And you got the reach with these ones. But then the thing comes like, are you afraid of heights, I guess? I think the tallest one I've been on is an 80-footer. And I'm okay with it. But yeah, do something better. Don't just do what these guys are doing. Where was that anyway, Veritax? Where was that? Was that, Yeah, one of those bucket things that you could position from solid. Yeah, yep. Just get yourself a telescoping boom lift. Yeah. Guys, float. Scissor lift. Raft. Workers on scissor lift floating in a swimming pool. There you go. It doesn't even look like they're reaching any kind of lights. Or are they just putting up? Might be a new build where they're building, where they haven't even put the lights in yet. I don't even see any of them up there. Or you know what? Drain the pool. Put the scissor lift in the pool when it's drained. Or anything. Scissor me timbers. That's pretty good, Godzilla. I like that. This is just stupidity beyond all belief, really. Oh, there's video. Where's the video? Come on. You don't know, but somebody posted it on Facebook, I think. I was at a school. Okay. Here we are. We have all cut corners at work, but sometimes people go too far. I'll do my best to get the job done, but the minute I have to put my life at risk, I'm out. I know finding an efficient workaround can be rewarding, but part of me wants to see this will actually work. The OSHA fail comes to us via Twitter, where Chris Jackson shared some unbelievable pics of scissor lift floating on a makeshift barge in a swimming pool. Sparked a hilarious thread of commentary and reactions that are good for a laugh. Don't let OSHA see this. Yeah, I wonder, like, did he drive it on there? He must have. Oh, look at this. When you're not just tall enough to get the forklift in the fork pockets, and then you go up. Oh man, look at this idiot. Got his power bar floating on some two flippers or two floating slippers. You've lifted a dude, your supervisor, who was standing on a pallet with a forklift before. I was 16. Yeah, I've been there too, Godzillionaire. Years ago, I've done that. Lifted a guy up on a pallet. I've made myself lifted up on a pallet. So it's just, but we don't do it anymore. You're gonna find ores long enough. There you go, witnessing the birth of a new warning label. Don't float the scissor lift. Picking up my crew for work. Get in, loser. We got OSHA rules to break. Well, he put his hard hat on. He's laughing about it. Well, he might hit his head. You never know. Okay. Yeah. Makes me think I should put a segment in here called Dummies of the Week or something. Because that is pretty dumb. Fails of the week, OSHA violations of the week, something. And I know you guys will help me come up with something. And don't hesitate. You guys see dumb stuff? Send it my way. Darwin Awards, yeah. Yeah, this right here. Not the scissor lift. That's dumb enough. But these guys right here. Like, there you go. You've got your power. Then anything happens, you got 2 dead guys. Maybe even 3. I see a guy here holding a beer. You know, electricity and water. Don't do it. And they're cataloging this too. The guys are taking pictures of it. Hey, look what we're doing. We're going to get a bunch of floats together and a piece of plywood and put the scissor lift on there. We'll be fine. Be fine. No problem. Like how much, if they could have shown us how much room they have. There's got to be a better way. The scissor lift in the swimming pool? Not in the pool area. Okay. Oh well. There you go. Like I say, don't hesitate to send me stuff. You guys know Discord. You guys are in there. Throw it my way. I'm always up for a laugh or a, oh my god, what are they doing? You know? So yeah, use the right tool for the right job. It's usually out there. You might think you're saving some money, but then it's at the expense of your life, perhaps. So don't do that. Always go home at the end of the day. Enjoy your life. Do the fun things. You work so you can go do fun things. That's why. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. It was another fun stream with everyone. I always have a good time. Hope you do too. Good old trades talk. Make sure you tell your friends, hit the like button. You know, let everybody know. Stop on by. Pay a visit for Pop. He's not so bad. Let's see. Coming up, Saturday, I'm starting a new game. I finished Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga last Saturday. And it was finally, what a relief. Now I'm starting a new game. I'm thinking to keep with the motif of Halloween, Dracula, scary stuff. I think some Castlevania is in order. But not just any Castlevania. Castlevania 2. And I know some people are like, oh, that's the terrible game. But I'm playing the redacted one. So it's going to be better translation, better transition from day into night. All the things are going to be better. So I want to revisit that one because that's like one of the very first Nintendo games I ever played. And I had a really good time with it. So tune in on Saturday when I pick it up again and give her a go. Sundays, Anime Chat. It's back to school still. It's still September. It's still back to school. So I'm going to be bringing you more school animes. And hopefully some real good ones that you guys will enjoy watching. And then circle back all the way around to Tuesday again for Trades Talk Tuesday. Pop on in. I'll have some more pictures, more videos, and we can look up and see, numbskulls of the week or whatever. People that are doing dumb things. But yes, make sure you check out some of these other channels that are out there too, like Pacific 4 and 4. Mike does a good a stream for his Pop Talk. Blaine from Blaine's Escape Corner, who is probably streaming as we speak, so don't miss out on Blaine's Escape Corner. Ronan66, DJ Durrani G, who is in the chat. He does some good tech videos. There's Brandon the Anime Guy, who was just streaming before I started. Nerdporial Lifeform, The Angry Canadian, Whoopa Troopa, and there's Punkwaddle. Osha? Oh, shit! Yeah, you got her, Godzillionaire. That's right. Yeah. Check me out on Discord. It's called The Shop. And I think that's it. Yes. So, thanks for coming out, everyone. I greatly appreciate it. You are all good people. And I hope to see you on Saturday when I start my new game. Until then, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.